everyone. Amy Bowser Tennant here, the Genealogy reporter, and it is Genealogy Thoughts Thursday. I want to talk to you about a book and share my thoughts on this book. It is entitled The Foundling, The True Story of a Kidnapping, a Family Secret, and My Search for the Real Me by Paul Joseph Franznik. Now, I got this book some time ago. I just finished it up. You know how hard it is to find time to read for enjoyment, but I really did enjoy this book. It brought a lot of feelings up to the surface, actually, in regards to adoption, and maybe some of the feelings that my own children have regarding their own adoption, as well as the connections and family dynamics that we have because of children being raised in different homes and settings. For example, I had several grandparents that weren't actually raised by their own parents, but rather other family members and so forth. And this book just really dives into identity, who you are, what makes you you. I liked his first question. Let me read that to you. There were a couple of things. He asks a lot of questions, and it just was so thought-provoking, even to myself, who is not adopted. But he says, what is it that makes us us? And he talks about, is it your name? Is it your date of birth? Because in his case, he found out that his name wasn't really his name, and his birth date really wasn't his birth date. And I think a lot of us have heard stories about that, where children are placed for adoption, they are placed in foster care, there are misattributed parentage events and so forth, that then later those individuals start to question who they are. And so Paul asks, what makes us us? He says, I had the feeling I wasn't Paul Franznik. Early on, it was more of a sense of not belonging, of being on the outside of things. Now, throughout the book, he talks about how he just didn't feel like he fit in, and there's some specific reasons why he felt that way, extenuating circumstances, shall we say, and I don't want to give it away because I want you to enjoy the book, but I wondered if my children had felt that way, how they felt regarding their adoption, and whether or not they felt like they fit in or were a part of the family, or did they have more in common with somebody else, or just these things. I felt it appropriate to only interview my daughter, who is older, an adult, and she said that she had always realized she was adopted. She felt really glad that we had shared that with her, and that she never felt like she didn't fit in or that she wasn't loved. She said she felt very much like me. She does look like me, and she does act like me a little bit, and so she felt that connection. I did not take the time to interview my other two children yet. I think they're a little not quite ready for that conversation. I had the opportunity also to interview my father-in-law, who found out when he was about 16 years old that his father was not his biological father. I asked him about how he felt about that. And, initially there was feelings of anger or confusion, or what do you mean that's not my real father? But he'd already developed a strong relationship with the man who raised him as his father. And so he said, though it was, there was a brief confusion, it wasn't necessarily life-changing or life-altering to him. But many people, additional people who I have talked to, that type of information is life-altering. Not understanding where you came from, or being confused as to where you came from, or why you are the way you are, act the way you do. Sometimes that can really weigh us down. And so this author goes on this amazing journey of trying to figure out who he is. And in the process, and he does find out who he is, in the process of that, he learns some really important things about his biological family on both his mother and his father's side, and he starts to see a correlation between those people and himself. And though he was raised in a totally different environment, and perhaps that is what saves him, there still is no doubt that DNA played a part in the way he feels and the way he acts and then the things he likes and all sorts of interesting things. So again, I loved this book. I thought it was really great, and you can purchase your copy as well. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description below. The Foundling, the true story of a kidnapping, a family secret, and my search for the real me. I hope that you will take the time to do a little reading and enjoy something that has to do with family history or genealogy that's a little more entertainment and less study. I look forward to hearing your comments. Please feel free to list them below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again. Thanks. Bye-bye.